My name is Dr. Eric Norton, and I have worked as an outside consultant for the NSA and NASA for going on 12 years now. My security clearance at present warrants my need to take the appropriate steps to keep myself protected.
What he's done is he's changed the pitch of his voice to lower. Then he's applied various filters, one to simulate being on a phone, so it adds in a bit of phone noise and static and echo, and also he's applied one that gives it a modulated robotic overtone to it. So he's tried to use various filters to make it really complex, but it's quite easy to undo to get it almost back to the original wave, which I will show you now. The first step is to apply reverse pitch control, and I found that the setting about 20 in the reading there, or around about G, and the optics changes it back to almost his voice with the other effects added.
My name is Dr. Eric Norton, and I have worked as an outside consultant for the NSA and NASA for going on 12 years now. My security clearance at present warrants my need to take the appropriate steps to keep myself protected.
As you can tell already, it's starting to sound like Tyler from Security 10, with all the other filters still applied. With Mr. Ken clip now and show you the reverse of that as well, just in case you haven't seen it. And it was based on the Planet X shadow planet behind another planet.
Yes, my name is Ken, and I work as an astronomer and a scientist for a government agency. That is all that I can say at this time. This footage here was personally taken by myself and another colleague at the WM Keck Observatory, which is located near the summit of Hawaii's Mauna Kea.
Yes, my name is Ken, and I work as an astronomer and a scientist for a government agency. That is all that I can say at this time. This footage here was personally taken by myself and another colleague at the WM Keck Observatory, which is located near the summit of Hawaii's Mauna Kea.
Not only do you notice that the wording is very similar, my name is, he could have said it different ways, like, hi, I'm Dr. Ken, or hi, I'm Dr. Norton, and glides along, and then suddenly shoots off at Mach 800 into outer space. Then they claim that a missile, or missile, as Americans would say, would shoot from the atmosphere into outer space, totally missing the UFO. Or some say it might have been a energy being shot from the ground into outer space to try and destroy it. The missile could have been shot from a F-14 high up in the atmosphere, or similar craft, and also a energy being laser weapon do exist on these DC type planes that fly up with the vector angles and a picture of the space shuttle, and you can see it has a lab inside the cargo bay. So finally onto my analysis of the footage. This is the key segment only. Here I have enhanced the objects. The bigger ones or closer ones to the camera will be brighter, and as it goes further away it dims in contrast or brightness, and you can see it tapers off. Added in the labels where the flashes of the shuttle rockets occur, and you can see when L5D fires, the particle or the UFO shoots off into space. That kind of tells me straight away it's related to the thruster, not the missile that shoots up after the event. So, like the NASA scientists looking at this episode, I'll be covering the life and work of Thomas Townsend Brown. He was the pioneer on electrographics and gravitated device. I will be covering more of the interesting aspects of his work, and then I will cover some of his biohistory at the end. The story goes that one day he noticed how violently a X-ray tube was vibrating, like it was trying to escape the equipment when it was charging, that he wanted to investigate it further and found that the electro-ray tube, which is shown here, also known as the Coolidge tube, had some sort of thrust when he was experimenting with them, recovering his cold electricity, free energy, spark gap, gravity, ether, and UFO flying machine technology. Here is a picture of what Tesla claims he had found, of a white spark, which is not like a normal lightning spark that he was generating with his Tesla coils. What he claims he had found was a new form of electricity that did not use electrons, but used another particle that he claimed come from his ether. Basically, his experiments were showing that before electrons started flowing in wire, just before closing switch on high voltages from DC, that it would create a spark with an explosive outcome, and he played around with it more and more and found that it was creating an explosive impact wave that would virtually go through sheets of copper and glass and seemed to go through all matter. And two, he tuned down the oscillating closure frequency of down to about 100 milliseconds for 6-volt batteries, and the press are there, as you can see, that's in the newspapers, and it's driving a bank of lights, a electric motor, and various other things. I think it was a radio and a small portable TV. You can read it in the articles that follow the pictures here of the news articles. I won't go through reading it all, but what he also did is talked about electricity being cold, the term cold electricity, and he connects a cable to a light bulb and dunks it into a jar of water, and the thing's still running. Normally that would short circuit and blow the fuse or something, or electrocute someone. And he showed that you could put your finger in the water and not get electrocuted. And I think this proves that what Tesla was saying about it's a new form of electricity that doesn't have electron flow, or it's not the charge that causes shocks, at least anyway. You can see a photograph there that he's showing the men as the bulbs in water on one of the newspaper clips. With the help of magic spells and charms, symbolizing resurrection and rebirth. Straight away I have a problem with that being a lotus flower, because the whole shape of it and the base of it looks more like an eggplant. Here you can see pictures of what an eggplant looks like. They have that same shape and everything. And because they have references of the lotus flower, doesn't mean it was actually representing the lotus flower. It may be representing the eggplant here. And at the end here, a man's got what looks like knives, like it's ready for harvesting the vegetables from the field. So it could represent different things. It doesn't necessarily mean they're correct, and it doesn't mean the theory is wrong about it being a light bulb either, so I'll get more into that as well. So they've done some carbon dating on remains of mummies and found out that they lived primarily on vegetables. Despite having pictures of fish and animals, they mostly lived off eggplants, garlic, wheat, pears, and other types of vegetables, obviously. And here's a field in Egypt showing how they grow vegetables there today. And of course they've got the Nile that's for irrigation, so I can't see why it can't be an eggplant and not a lotus flower. That's the problem of symbolization and trying to reverse it from pictures into a story. It's not going to be accurate. So Egypt has 4 types of snakes, and no doubt they live in the vegetable fields as well. And maybe the reason why they use that symbol with the eggplant, showing that the fields are fertile and rebirth is beginning. So how about it representing an ancient light bulb, with the snake being a filament and the eggplant shape being actually a glass tube, and the stem of the eggplant running towards a box is actually a power cable made from copper, and inside the box are batteries or bank of batteries enough to light the filament to make it glow. Now I can see symbology there with the snake. As you know, when a filament glows or static electricity goes between gaps, it creates a hissing sparky sound, which is pretty much what a snake makes when it hisses. So could the hissing snake represent also electrical hiss? Quite feasible. So it seems that Egyptians were the first to discover glass, probably because they live in a sandy environment, and when they got like an open fire, that would have...
Yeah. And I heard this when I was, it must have been 1963, 64 the first time. I remember because, I was a little kid. I watched the Jetsons. I watched the Flintstones, the Great Gazoo.
So what age was that? What age?
It was probably 5 or so.
Okay.
And she kept talking about it off and on.
Right.
And she would talk about, well, we would go down this elevator, we'd open up and they would take us in a golf cart. Mm-hmm. And there were movie theaters, there was a drugstore, there was a guy who would actually do my hair, is what my mom told me. She said,
we call them hairdressers over here.
Yeah. She had a hairdresser a mile under the desert.
Yeah.
And she said that it was a little city down there, that there was a cafe that we would go to. They had sun lamps, and that there were yellow umbrellas over the tables.
Right.
And that they really tried to make it seem like it was just very normal, but of course it wasn't.
No.
And the best that I could get from her, as far as what she was doing down there, because that's what I still want to know, I have ideas.
Yeah, I don't
but she
blame
said
you.
that they were working on esoteric projects.
Yeah.
Esoteric projects. And I heard about this until maybe age 8.
You might want to explain what that means to some other people out there. I suppose that black projects.
They were working on black government projects. When I look at that, I think about, Corso, Philip Corso.
Yeah.
As messed up as he was, I think that there was a kernel of truth in there,
Yeah.
And it very much aligned with some of the stuff that my mom said. I've met other people who's, I know one woman whose grandfather worked at Area 51. She said, there were yellow umbrellas over the table.
So that sort of confirms
They had a French cafe.
Mm.
They had a French cafe. You could order wine or champagne. And, you could kick back, and it was just like being on top of the earth,
Yeah.
But there they were under the desert, a mile under. My mom claimed that she knew Werner von Braun.
Yeah.
That he was a very nice man, she said. He was charming.
But how did she actually meet him? Was it underground or?
I don't know.
She didn't
I
say.
wish I knew. She never explained it.
So she might have been taken along to a presentation and met him there, you see. And he might have been talking about UFOs or aliens or something.
Probably. My mom knew about aliens.
Mm.
Now, when she wasn't talking about them.
Right, so I got my tripod. And I've got 2 segments that can only connect onto the tripod when it's outside. So as it hits the roof. So what I've done is it's quite heavy, this camera. What I've done is trying to work out the map. So it should be east, which we're facing east. Probably gone past us already. did I just see it then? I don't have the camera up high enough. It's moving quite faster. And we can't even see it. Go down. Can't even focus on that. So it's focus on infinity, isn't it? Or what do you call it? Focusing on that thing, probably. We'll try in the sky anyway. I suppose if we go further around, it will correct itself. And that's south-east, is it? North-east. Okay, that makes sense. So now it's over there. So we've still got that hang glider buzzing around us. Still haven't managed to pin it. So that was way over there that we saw. So that's got to be more right over top of us, really. I can't see anything over top. Oh, what's happening there? Okay, we'll just keep trying. You never know, might be able to catch it. We need an option to say hide the top lines temporarily and expand those ones. So I don't know how you can do it on this browser. If you can do it, that's why I'm switching to this view here. Got a feeling the glider's going to be more over this way, which would be north. North right over top at the moment. So it should be in that one. It's got to be a dot in the sky if that is the case. So let's go straight up then. Wrong way. Okay. Got to be floating around here in these air currents. Alright, it's adjusting colour. Going to sit down on the bed. 3 AM is it? Okay. I wonder if there's a camera that can look 360 at the same time and give us compass directions. See, I would have thought those gliders would have been visible at some point here. Where's his other hand gone? Now she crossed her legs like she's doing here. So let's compare those two photographs then. I noticed it last night after the thing. I said, well, there's the damn chair that's reflecting in the window. No way was she inside a spacecraft. She was inside her house taking the picture and lying about it. See, that's no good. See, it's too dark. So I have to grab my one where you can see the chair. Unfortunately, I've drawn over it. I suppose we could lighten it up again. Save image. Let's see how it compares anyway. And this is how you sort of investigate things, right? How they got that to be a Bigfoot beats me though. Oh yeah, I got the pictures. But it puts in a different format, doesn't it? Where's the other one disappear to? That's not Hynek, is it? Yes, it is. Okay, let's load them up. Okay. I'll just open them up separately to start with. Yeah, effects. So which side is the chair? So that's inverted. Which you'd get if it was a reflection, right? So if it was a reflection, the arm of the chair is on the right side. So we should be able to see all these great minds. You know, you think of Hynek, you know, yeah, I can see straight away that's the chair she was sitting in, and you can see how she was holding up the camera, coming up to her chest here. Now, how come those great minds can't see what I see? Maybe everybody's not equal, right? Takes someone like me to say, hang on. Something's not right here. Okay, so let's really over brighten it. So there's the edge of the chair, and camera that she's holding is here. She's looking down, see? There's her here. So have we got a picture of her there? See, she may have changed her here. Let's look at eyes are looking downwards. Long hair. Let's see, I wonder if we can de-expose that one there. There's a Bigfoot. No, it's not. Can't quite improve on it, can we? We might better sharpen it, maybe. See, I can see the edge of her face here. So if I drew around it, hand draw. Not the easiest thing to do. Let's look at the faces there. The eyes look like they're looking downwards. Looks like the cheeks and nose here. And the mouth. You know, something like that. Looks like the hair coming down here. Something like that. Okay. Now she's got her elbow coming off the edge of the chair here. Oh, I hate mouses for this. It's coming up here, and to me it looks like she's holding something in her hand in this area here.